It's 8 p.m. and here are our top stories in 90 seconds.
I know the trust is broken, and I know we have a long way to go.
Aurora's police chief is vowing to make changes in light of Elijah McClain's death. First up, creating an independent monitor office.
A system of accountability should not be dependent on who sits in the chief's chair.
A prime park day in the middle of winter. We hope you enjoyed it. The changes moving in.
60s and even 70s today. Snow on the way by tomorrow afternoon.
A pledge to ramp up production of COVID vaccines by Moderna and Pfizer as new variants of the virus emerge.
We're in the process of scaling up manufacturing for clinical trial right now to test whether or not a variant vaccine booster is useful.
Plus, golf legend Tiger Woods is recovering from a serious car crash.
We have a rollover with someone trapped.
Tonight, we have new reaction from a stunned sports world.
I'm sick to my stomach. Man, I just hope he's all right.
And all new at 8. Adopt, don't shop. That is the message of a new proposed bill.
This bill prevents any new pet stores from opening and selling puppies and kittens.
But it is a proposal that does not have everyone on board.
I think we run very clean, very organized, very good stores that sell happy, healthy dogs.
Good Tuesday evening, and thank you for watching Denver7 News on Local 3. I'm Jessica Porter. We start with breaking news in Denver's Rhino Arts District. Denver Fire is monitoring hotspots at a warehouse that caught fire at 33rd and Walnut. Firefighters say the fire was so large they had to battle it from outside only. The wind did not help their efforts either. Fortunately, there were no injuries. We also have a new update on a crash involving a dump truck and a bicyclist in Aurora. Aurora police say that 85-year-old bicyclist died from their injuries today. This happened at Havana and Exposition last night. Police say the dump truck driver did stay on scene and was cooperative. They are still asking for anyone who saw the crash to contact them. The city of Aurora will create an independent investigative body in the wake of the Elijah McClain report being released. A panel found officers had no right to stop McClain because they had no evidence he had either committed a crime or intended to do so. Police Chief Vanessa Wilson appears to agree with that assessment.
Giving officers that opportunity to take a moment to slow things down, to watch what they see happening, and not to solely rely on what a caller says. The report talked about implicit bias. I've been talking about implicit bias since I took over as the chief of police, and I believe that we all have it, and I want to ensure that if a community member is calling someone in as a suspicious person, that is never due to the color of their skin or the clothing that they're wearing.
Chief Wilson was asked repeatedly today whether the officers involved can, should, or will be punished internally. She declined to answer, citing ongoing investigations. The ACLU of Colorado has filed a lawsuit against an Arapahoe County subdivision because the subdivision prohibits residents from displaying certain flags and signs on their property. The case stems from the pride flag flying outside David Pendery's house. He says he wants to display his flag to convey solidarity with the LGBTQ+ families like his. The Whispering Pines Metro District prohibits flags like the pride flag from flying. Turn to Channel 7 at 10 p.m., where we get reaction from Mr. Pendery about the lawsuit. Clear Creek County's COVID vaccination event planned for tomorrow is postponed because of last week's winter weather across the country. The county was expecting 80 vaccine doses to be delivered in time for tomorrow. Instead, those 80 people have been rescheduled for next Wednesday. Moderna and Pfizer pledged today to ramp up production of the coronavirus vaccine. Pfizer's CEO promised Congress that doses would go from 4 to 5 million per week to 13 million by the end, or rather the middle of March. Moderna said it is on track to deliver 100 million doses by the end of March. They hope to be doling out 40 million a month by April. Both companies also say they are prepared to tackle any troublesome variants that arise.
And to date, we've seen no real-world evidence that suggests a significant reduction in protection provided by our current vaccine. However, we're preparing to respond quickly and hope to initiate a study to investigate the effectiveness of a third booster of our vaccine in trial participants who have already received 2 doses.
We're in the process of scaling up manufacturing for clinical trial right now to test whether or not a variant vaccine booster is useful.
Johnson & Johnson is likely to receive FDA approval for its vaccine this weekend. The company has pledged 20 million doses by the end of March. Well, people were out and about across Denver today, taking in the temperatures that reached the 60s once again this week. But the winds kicked up early this evening, and that is a sign of snow moving in. Let's send it out to Chief Meteorologist Mike Nelson with a check of our Denver7 forecast. Mike?
Hi, Jessica. Let's take a look at these highs today. Beautiful. Look at this, 74 at Pueblo. But right now, Pueblo's under a winter storm watch for tomorrow night. In Denver, we had 63, 65 degrees at Colorado Springs, and those warm temperatures are going to gradually give way to some cooler conditions coming up tonight into tomorrow, as we'll see the weather's kind of drop a little bit. Let's look at the current temperatures around the area. We've dropped to 47 now in the Denver area, down to 28 up at Craig, and it is windy out there. Gusts to 23 at Greeley. We have a cold front coming our way. Winter weather advisory is going to affect tomorrow south of Denver. Winter storm watch as well. That's the cold front coming our way, and this is what it means for us tonight and tomorrow. The warm weather's over, snow and colder by tomorrow afternoon, and a slick drive on the way for Thursday morning. I'll let you know how much snow to expect in your neighborhood in just a few minutes.
Thank you, Mike. The Parker Police Department has turned the results of its investigation into Vaughn Miller over to the district attorney's office. Neither the police nor the DA's office will say what charges were recommended, although police did describe the investigation as extensive. A source previously told Denver7 the case involves claims of domestic abuse. Terrifying pictures today from Los Angeles. Pro golf icon Tiger Woods was involved in a single car rollover in LA today, sending his car tumbling across the road. Thankfully, he survived the crash. As ABC's Marcy Gonzalez reports, messages are coming in from across the world.
This SUV left crumbled after rolling downhill multiple times with Tiger Woods behind the wheel.
Fire, we have a rollover with someone trapped.
Rescuers using an axe to break through the windshield and free the legendary pro golfer. The Los Angeles County Fire Department says Woods has serious injuries to both legs. The 45-year-old was rushed to a hospital and into surgery.
He was able to communicate and he was conscious.
Woods was the only person in the vehicle when it lost control around 7:15 this morning south of LA in Rancho Palos Verdes.
No skid marks, no braking. So apparently the first contact was with the center median, and from there then cross into the opposing lane of traffic, hit the curb, hit a tree, and there was several rollovers during that process.
You can see suitcases next to the wreckage. The SUV is marked Genesis Invitational, a tournament Woods hosted last week.
Tiger, thank you for teaching me something.
And just yesterday, he was on a course near the crash site giving pointers to NBA star Dwayne Wade.
I'm not good. I'm sorry for using that.
We're getting better.
Friends in the sports world are stunned. Jack Nicklaus tweeting that he is deeply concerned, and Justin Thomas sharing his emotional reaction after hearing about his mentor.
I mean, I'm sick to my stomach. You know, it hurts to see one of your, now my closest friends, get in an accident, and man, I just hope he's all right.
The sheriff says there is no evidence Woods was impaired in any way, but that it appears the vehicle may have been speeding. Investigators are looking into that and whether Woods may have been on his phone or otherwise distracted at the time of the crash on that notoriously dangerous stretch of road. Marcy Gonzalez, ABC News, Los Angeles.
Marcy, thank you. It took 8 hours of searching, but first responders were able to rescue a snowshoer who disappeared into the Boulder County backcountry. Jennifer Cornell was found 200 feet from the trail yesterday afternoon. She had been there since the previous morning.
I got turned around, lost track of time, and realized her situation, was able to break off some tree branches, make herself somewhat of a bed to lie down on, stay off the snow a little bit. Spent some portion of the night there, up off the snow, hopefully out of the wind, which will really make a big difference. And then at some point she woke up and saw some lights, or at least thought she saw some lights, and started to head towards those, so downhill, down into a gully. And apparently that's where we found her, was down in that gully.
Smart thinking. According to her sister, Cornell's hands are frostbitten, and she'll need to stay in the hospital a little longer. Otherwise, she's okay.
When you adopt a pet, you're changing the life of a homeless animal, so you're providing them with a new family, with a second chance.
A new proposal to get more Coloradans to adopt pets. But some think putting an end to pet stores could open up Pandora's box.
If we go away, breeders will still sell dogs online, will still sell dogs, out of their backyard, on Craigslist, whatever. And I think that makes things much worse.
Just terrific today, back in the 60s for the second straight day. Tomorrow, we return to snow.
And coming up later, people are already planning post-COVID trips this summer.
I see more people going this summer versus like spring.
The travel trends agents are seeing right now.